If you're a fan of the Sly Guy podcast, if you're a Sly Hard or you're a Rider Sly, get over to Patreon/Sly Guy podcast for a bulging udder full of bonus milky content. There's no actual milk related content, but there's a heaving udder for you to just get underneath and squeeze all over your face. There's the bonus weekly podcast, which just doesn't have a name, but it's basically this, but with more sort of interaction. You have the bonus Dog Walks with Davey podcast, you have the Champions League of Weird, and you have additional stand-up clips and other clips that don't feature anywhere else. So as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, what are you waiting for? Get over to patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast, get your head under the milky udder and just squirt into your face and guzzle it all up. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Off the bat, don't want to be here, okay? One of those things. I'm grumpy today. I'm not in the mood for it. It's one of these things where it's just like, I don't want to do the podcast today. I'm not in the mood. I don't want to be here, but I am. You know why? Because I'm a professional. There you go. And this could be a short episode. That could be it. That could be literally the episode. I don't want to be here. I'm grumpy. I'm tired. I've been up too early. But I'm a professional and I get on with it. And that's just what happens when you're a professional. See, when you're a professional at something and you want to, treat it. Like, you guys matter to me. As much as it makes me sick to say it. I like you and I want to see you get this content. Alright, so I'm here, I'm doing it, I'm getting on with it. There's no days off with Davey apart from, maybe a couple of weeks ago when I genuinely was about to take a week off and just had an audio podcast. But that's neither here nor there. Don't get at me, alright? I'm powering through, I'm coping, I'm making it happen because of you guys. Alright? Now, did I have a bit of an issue with last week's podcast? Yes. Did people message me and be like, Dave, you haven't uploaded the podcast? And did I reply with, I did? Or did I go and actually check if I had uploaded the podcast and then come back and be like, oh, no, I just said I uploaded it and I was 100% confident in my own competence. And guess what? Newsflash, I fucked up. I didn't upload the podcast until, but do you know what day, Ben, I uploaded it?
I think I might have been Sunday.
Sunday. Normally it comes out on Thursday. I didn't upload it until Sunday. Now, am I a man who takes responsibility for my own actions? No. Should Ben have told me, producers of the podcast, that it wasn't up? Yes, but he didn't because he was too busy looking after himself. But that's fine, Ben. See you future. Have a check to make sure I've done my end of the job right, because everybody knows I'm a technophobe, and everybody knows you're no offense, a tech nerd. So I just didn't upload it to Sunday, and then people were messaging me. I was getting belligerent with them, basically in a roundabout way, telling them to fuck, just, you do, fuck way off. You think you know this podcast type we do, suck my balls. Now, was it on Patreon from Wednesday? Yes, so that's all that matters. The patrons were licking it up. They were lapping it up like a wee milk hungry cat whore, and I'm just loving it. But unfortunately, the regular guys, maybe that's what we should do. Maybe it's a way to just get extra people over to Patreon. Just release one episode of the podcast a month solely on Patreon. Would that be a mug off, or would that just be taking? I think I'd be taking the piss. I wouldn't do that. However, if people keep annoying me, may consider it as a threat. But yeah, I'm here, I'm doing it, I'm angry. I got up this morning at 5:45 in the AM, and not for any sort of weird flex. Like people just get up like at all hours in the morning and get on like they're fucking, they think they're the rock. Oh man, I got up at 4 o'clock this morning and here's another thing people do nowadays. I sat down, I read a book, I wrote down I wrote down some goals for the day, then I did some meditation. Then I worked out. You don't need to do all those. They're fucking stupid. Sleep trumps all that. Sleep usurps getting a wee notepad and going, this is what I'm going to do today. And then if you don't do it, you're fucking raging at yourself. Then I meditated. Here's what you should be doing. See that list you've just made? Make a start to it before you sit there and go, oh, these fucking people then trying to be like, this is how you live the best life, guys. No, these people are fucking morons. They probably sea swim. They probably cycle. They probably just go to Whole Foods stores and that's all they eat. And they probably eat lentils. Fucking bore off. Get a life. See these. You know what? I'm a sleepy guy because I've been awake from quarter to 6. I'm sleepy. I'm grumpy. These guys, they're woke. I'm the opposite of woke. I'm sleepy in both physically tired and also I can't fucking do with all these woke people. I can't cope anymore. It annoys me, especially when I'm tired, especially when I'm grumpy, and I'm grumpy and I'm tired today and I don't want to be here. And if people are like, well, Dave, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's not how it works. I'm not a weak, soft, I'm not a wee, like, cartilage boned person. You know, person whose bones aren't actual bones. They're all, my bones are cartilage because I'm so soft. Fuck off. Harden yourself. Get on with it. You know, I know nowadays you can't say man up because people go, did you just say man up? What about, I don't care. Woman up, man up, just toughen up and fuck up. How about that? How about put that into your fucking pipe and then suck it off? That's what you should do. I'm sick of this shit. And I just came to this week, right? Life this week was like Mrs. Doyle from Father Ted to me. Just dishing out the mugs. From the start of the week to now, life has been mugging me off. And if I wasn't a comedian who did a podcast, I'd probably be pretty fucked off. But because I'm like, this would be fun to talk about. Hey, I'll tell you. For a start, my 3-year-old's school sent us an email and said, Dave, your 3-year-old's fucking dumb. No, they didn't. That would be highly inappropriate and offensive. But what they did, they sent us an email. And to be fair, this is where society is now at. That schools have to email parents and ask if it's okay to do something. Now, am I that far back that I would not be offended if a school, listen, Dave, are we okay to hit your children with a duster? I'd be like, work away, mate. If I step down the line, back of the head with a duster, go for it. But they email us to be like, listen, another nursery, I don't know what it's called, is it playgroup, is it nursery, is it preschool, I don't know, I don't care, it takes my child for a couple hours a day, whatever it is, I'm all in. So they emailed us and was like, listen, another nursery, pre-group, play school, called play school, it's easier to say, has received a complaint from parents saying that they deemed it inappropriate to celebrate Halloween. What is your opinion on Halloween? And I think I responded saying, my opinion is whoever had an issue with that's a fucking nerd. Get over it. And secondly, yeah, let my kids celebrate Halloween. I don't care. You know, I think that's the problem. You know, people now complain about stuff because one thing the phrase trigger, it may trigger something in somebody to be, oh, this upsets me. Well, guess what? Don't send your kid in. Let them look like a fucking idiot. Send them to school while everyone's dressed as like... Now, there is a limit. You dress them as little pumpkins. Don't be sending a 3-year-old to school like Freddy Krueger. Oh, what are you, mate? Oh, I'm a pumpkin. What are you? I'm a burnt pedo. It's going to rip you in your dreams. Yeah. There's a line. You know, you got to know how to parent, and there is a line. But I think you should be, rather than holding these things back, you should be opening them up. You know, rather than being like, oh, it's offense me, it's not my culture. Educate people about the culture. If that's something you want to do it. The same way I think nowadays the country's getting a bit more diverse. Rather than be like, don't be doing the fucking Eid in my... Do it. Celebrate it. Show our little cultural world that doesn't really have a wide eye to the wider world. Show what else there is to offer there. Celebrate the Chinese New Year. Do we things like that. Make a deal of it. But don't make it a divisive thing. Too many times people put these things up as a divisive wall, as something to cause a division, rather than be like, listen, the options, you don't have to do it yourself, but it can still be fun. Like, I've been to Chinese New Year celebrations before, great crack. You know, there's been people, I've used to work with community groups, and I've been going out with community groups in all parts of Belfast, rather than being like, oh, they're foreign, we don't want them here, be like, no, you're adding to our community, you're living in our community, there's elements of your culture that we are ignorant of. Rather than be afraid of this culture, come on in, let's welcome it, let's do it. Cook some of your local food, bring it over here, we'll try it. Now, albeit it always scunders us because, you know, the people come over from these countries and make these delicious dishes, these wonderful feasts, and we're like, well, you have, oh, it's bacon and soda bread, enjoy it. You know, that is a bit awkward, but I think the diversity and welcoming everybody, and yes, be different, but embrace it. Don't be like, I'm offended by Halloween. It's not, you know, if it's not, who cares? Who in this country can honestly say they're perfect? Nobody. So rather than just bringing everyone down, as the old saying goes, a rising tide lifts all ships. Let's focus on that and less of the I don't want that. So I said, yeah, let's celebrate Halloween. And this is not a joke. Genuinely, I did say to my wife, she was like, is there a Halloween outfit you have for Holly? And I went, yes. And I was sincere about I'm going to go next door into my prop box and I'm bringing a Michael Myers mask home for my 3-year-old to wear. And I'm happy about that. And then, you know, to be fair, Michael Myers isn't the worst one for a child to be dressed as because he actually, shock horror, was a child when he did his first murder. So, I mean, hey, it's all winning. And speaking of which, I genuinely am bringing the Michael Myers mask home because my wife is going to see Halloween, which she's not seen before, on the night before Halloween. And I'm going to make a Michael Myers mannequin. And I'm going to put a boiler suit on the mannequin and the mask. And I'm going to put Michael Myers in our bedroom. And I'm going to be in bed all asleep. She'll walk in, say that, and shit her wee pants. And it'll be a great day. It'll be a great day for all. And it'll be a happy Halloween for me. I'll be like, you know, the Tiny Tim of Halloween. I'll be Fat Tim of Halloween, just in bed, laughing, ho, 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 you know, just as she's probably on the ground having some sort of seizure because she'll be scared shitless. She's not a horror film fan, and she's going to see Halloween in a car park with actors. You know, have you heard of these things, Ben, where, like, actors go to, like, the, like, fucking, well, I don't even want these drive-in movies and then, like, pop up at your window. Oh, here's the thing. See, Michael Myers, he doesn't do that. So, see if you're one of these actors and you're method, don't be knocking on the window as Michael Myers and going, oh, because he just stands and stares, you know. So just what you need to do is just stand, look in the window. Kind of like you would do at the Giant's Ring of a Saturday evening. Just look in. You don't have to do the masturbating, but it could add to the effect. You know, and then, yeah, it would just be a nice time. And I think that, you know what? See if something brings joy to people. Go ahead and do it, apart from sea swimming. Fuck yourself. You know what I mean? That's what I think about that, you know? And there you go. And whatever happened to the old saying, Ben, you know, sticks and stones. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but I tell you what you can do. Go fuck yourself. What about that for a picnic, eh? I don't even know if that's a saying. What about that for a picnic? Get a wee hamper, fire in some jam sandwiches, stick a wee flask of tea in there, and how about a big family-sized bag of go fuck yourself? What about that? Eat that. What are the macros in that, you fucking nerd? Speaking of macros, I'm back training again and I'm feeling, maybe that's why I'm fucking grumpy, because I'm hungry, I've had no dinner, and I exercised my legs yesterday, and now I've got a sore anus. How does that happen? Squats, lunges, kettlebell swings, not a problem with my legs. Wake up the next day, anus is shredded. I don't know what I've been doing or how I've been tensing, but I have a very sore anus. Maybe Cara Delevingne's movement has gathered speed overnight and I've just been pegged in my sleep, but that's what it feels like. And you know what? I just prefer being fat. I prefer being like fat lazy bastard. That's what I prefer. I prefer sitting on my hole without a sore hole. That's what I prefer. And yeah, I said I'd be mugged all week, Mrs. Doyle style. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, Ben, as a parent, but has any of your kids ever shit in a bath?
Yeah.
And what is your experience of that? Like, what do you remember about the shitting in the bath? Was it your boy or was it your girl?
Boy, I think it was. But it was like a wee small baby bath.
Yeah.
So it was easier to manage.
Yeah, well, this was our big bath, and now this was frustrating. I was doing a gig at Pug Ugly's Comedy Club, which, by the way, in my opinion, best comedy club in the country. I had a gig there. I was getting prepared for that. I had a day's work to do. My wife, Catherine's back to work, which, by the way, you know, we were all out clapping for the NHS. She's a nurse. Fuck her, definitely don't be going back to work. Stay at home and look after the kids because I can't do it by myself. Alright? I can't cope with kids. They're fucking nightmare. So I had a day at work, then I come home, sort these kids out, get them all fucking ready for bed. And in my head, I'm like, I'm stressed out. I need to run over my set. I need to sort other things. Shit. And it was all good. So I got one of the girls. I got Holly, the older one. I got her as like ready. It's like, you just run around before the bath. She's all of a sudden become a diva. It's like, I will not have a bath with my sister. Which, to be fair, in hindsight, where the story goes, good judge. You know, good call. Not getting a bath with her sister. And then I put the 1-year-old in the bath, and I was like, right, I need to leave the 1-year-old for a second. So I said to my 3-year-old, listen, mate, can you come in and be the responsible adult here? Can you, as a 3-year-old, keep an eye on this 1-year-old in this bath? Which, what do they say? That is like, you can drown in like 5 centimeters of water, probably 30 centimeters of water, so you could definitely drown. I said, look, you watch her. 3-year-old, watch the 1-year-old. Daddy's going to have a smoke. Don't smoke. Daddy's going out the back to have a smoke because he's fucking losing his head. You look after her. I'm going next door to get a towel. All right, I'm going to get one of her towels. I'll be back in a second. Behave. And I thought, no problem. So I head into her room and get the towel off the back of the door. You know, one of these towels that only babies have, which I don't know why adults don't have them, but they're like a towel, but you can wear it as a hat, and it's got like an elephant trunk and all on it. Very sweet. I would like one of those as an adult, but I'd like one with like, since it's Halloween, the devil on it. What about that? Satan. In fact, I'm going to dress as Lil Nas X having sex with Satan for Halloween. What about that? But, so I went in with this towel, and as I was like leaving her room, I just heard Holly screaming, ah, Daddy! Daddy! And I was like, oh no, what's happened? Is the baby fallen and banged her head or something? She's like, there's an animal in the bath! And I thought to myself, it's one of these wee freaky woodlice guys, who, by the way, what are woodlice? What do woodlice do? Where do woodlice come from? Why are they there? They're friendly little buggers, aren't they? They just kind of crawl around in the cold. They just come into your house. They do nothing. They don't cause a scene. They don't cause any damage. They just crawl around with wee mini armadillos, just crawling around, just mind their own business. Just like you'd be sitting writing and you'd be like, oh, what's that wee creepy crawly? Oh, it's a wee fucking woodlice. And you just look over, all right, Mr. Woodlice, and they'll be like, all right, mate. You're just friendly wee mini armadillo guys. And that's what I thought had happened. Maybe a woodlice had just found itself into the bath. And then Holly starts, there's another one, and another one. And I was like, oh no, I better head in there. And she was like, Daddy, I think she's pooing in the bath. And I was like, don't be so, fuck, she's pooing in the bath. Oh no. And I was like, shit. And Holly was like, correct. And I went, how do you know that? And the shit was there, and I just looked down at Matilda, my 1-year-old. By this stage, she's on her knees with the shit in each hand going, ha 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 ha. Like, I'm looking at her going, why are you so happy you've shit in the bath? And she's having the time of her life. She's like, you know that position, like the guy gets killed at the end of Apocalypse Now and he drops to his knees? She's there, but instead of blood dripping from her hands, it's just her own shit. And I was like, oh no, what do I do with this baby just covered in shit? So I started to panic. I was like, oh no, I got to lift her out of the water, because this has become effectively just a big bowl of like shit. Isn't that what the Thai people like to eat these days? So there was that. That's fine. For those that don't eat, they eat fancy food, a big shitty bowl of stew. She's just in this stew. I was like, fuck. So I lifted her, and I was like, oh no, I've lifted this baby covered in watery shit. I was like, what can I do with her? She's covered in shit. I can't put her back into the bath. I can't take a baby from a bath full of shit and put her into a bath full of shit. I can't hold her because she's covered in shit. I can't set her on the ground because she's covered in shit. I'm like, what do I do? The only way I can is get her under the shower. But it's like, I can't switch. I was like, oh no. So my first train of thought was, I'm just Hulk Hogan, my t-shirt. So I just grabbed my t-shirt and I just ripped my t-shirt off like some kind of fucking wild beast. Ripped it off, and then my next thought was, now I've got no shirt on. I'm still gonna. I just had no shirt now, and I've got a baby covered in shit. Still doesn't really change. I don't know what the thought processes were, but I figured it out because I put the baby on my chest like this, turned the shower on, and did like a weird limbo backwards under the shower, which just blinded me and got my nose and all. I couldn't breathe. I was like waterboarding myself while holding a baby covered in shit, and eventually got all the shit off her. That was fine. Then I had to go and put her in her PJs, and I had to put her to bed, which I did so quickly. I literally probably just dried her real quickly through in her PJs, in her sleeping bag, and literally just rugby passed her into the bed, and then went out. It was like, how am I going to deal with this? So I obviously went downstairs, got a colander and a sieve, and I just started like, effectively, like, you know, a guy during a gold rush back in the deep south during the day, sieving for gold. I was just sieving for like bits of sweet corn and carrot to get it out of this shib water and then just scoop it out. And then eventually we just, you know, had to flush a load of the watery shit away. But it was traumatic. And then, lo and behold, Holly didn't want to get into the bath. She's like, listen, Dad, no harm to you. I just watched another human shit in his bath. I might dodge the bath tonight. I'm like, no, you're going to get in it. And she's like, nah, man, I'm absolutely not getting into this shitty bath. So I gave her first proper, like, shower. And she didn't like it. Cried. She kicked off. I was stressed. I was sweaty. I had to go to this gig. And driving up, I just couldn't stop sweating. The whole time, I just could not stop sweating. But thankfully, that went well. The gig was a lot of fun. It was a good change of direction for me. A good, fun switch. Because at that point, like, I was just thinking to myself, like, you know that book, Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events? Things just kept going wrong for me, except I'm not Lemony Snicket. I'm Lemony Dickhead. I'm just the guy, this dickhead that's just getting fucking mugged off, flat out, all week, by everybody. His kids, life, everyone mugging me off. Then on the Friday, you think things can't get any worse. My dogs just decided, listen, I've had enough of this like 80 quid memory foam bed of mine. I'm going to fuck it until it bursts, and then I'm going to rip all the foam out, all the memory foam into bits, and piss on it, which he did. And that was just, you know, by that stage you can't be annoyed anymore. The shit was like, if it was a graph, the shit got me to there, and by this point, you know, when you're just looking at it going, this is comical. This existence of mine is comical. Just the bodily functions of things I'm responsible for wrecking my day, and that is exactly what happened. And it was fun. That was fun. And here we are now, doing a podcast with I don't really know what my vibe is. I don't know what my energy is. I don't know whether am I in a good mood now. Has this given off for like half an hour? I don't know. Ben, I haven't really spoken to you today on the podcast. What has happened? Is this the content that people? Is this what you want? Is it? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you're here?
Do you want to be in a bad mood?
See if fucking Crystal Palace have equalised. Have they?
Yeah.
Never record a podcast when the fucking Arsenal are playing. How long's to go?
Half an hour.
Well, we will win this game and see if we lose. Fuck Patrick Vieira and his legacy.
Saka went off as well.
Injured because that fucking twat booted him in the next week. What a dirty bastard. Right, okay. I need a break. I need to have a water break. Just need to write a few goals down here. Be less angry. Do a bit of yoga. Return to the podcast. Okay. Probably offending people. Like, is he going to cross himself? Yeah, who gives a fuck? I'm a mudblood. I can do what I want. I'm a mix. And even if I wanted to do something Jewish, I don't know if this is Jewish. Hey, let me just... There we go. It's time for the slide dig. Oh, sorry for any Jewish guys out there that find that highly offensive. I don't even know what that was supposed to be. Let's go through some of these suggestions to see if any of these annoy me. John says car drivers that keep the lights on when outside neighbours' houses. I go for a walk and get blinded. Yeah, it does annoy me. Do you ever find, like, when you're out at night, you'd be like, if the car lights are on the car and it's parked and it's not moving, you're driving up to it and you think it's trying to come forward, so you flash it, and then it doesn't come forward, and then, like, if you flash the car too much, you'll drive past and there'll be a guy fucking another guy in it, and you go, oh no, I've misconstrued this situation once again. And why was it only visit my dad's house? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that's annoying when people leave the lights on outside. If it's for a prolonged period of time, if they're just there to pick someone up, it's maybe a bit of hassle, John, to just turn it off, turn back on again, just, go with it a little bit. But yeah, that doesn't get my blood boiling too much. Jane has said arseholes in the workplace. Oh wow. Usually a manager obviously can't do their job and blame other colleagues for the fuck ups they make. You know what? I think this is a personal vendetta you have against somebody in work here. What I would say is, like, you just need to, what you need to do. See if somebody in work is annoying you. What you need to do is just take a step back, take a deep breath, write down some goals, and just openly in front of everyone tell them to bend down and fuck themselves. That's what you need to do. You just need to own the situation, tell people to fuck themselves, and you'll feel a lot better. It's better to tell a manager to fuck themselves than it is to tell a colleague of a similar level. Or else what you could do if you want ultimate revenge on your manager is just go to HR and say that they touched you inappropriately. That's what I do. Just go in and be like, listen. And then they'd be like, is that because your manager turned down your request for an 8-week holiday? I'd be like, that's coincidence, but they touched my ball. And then HR would be like, why was your ball out? And I'd be like, well, that's none of your business, but they touched it. So yeah, do that, Jane, please. Lewis Orr has said, he's done it. People who think they're interesting for liking weird food. Shit like ordering extra gherkins at McDonald's. You know what? That's not what I was thinking. But people that are like, yeah, man, all I eat nowadays is like, all I eat now is Tibetan food. And you're like, but you were balls deep in stew last week. Like, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, man, just like, I like Nepalese food. It is what it is. I'll only eat Thai. I only, like, people who would just be like, if their ma put a vegetable soup in front of them, they'd be like, no, but fuck some noodles and an egg in it. They're like, oh yeah, man, I'll eat this with fucking chopsticks. That's another thing. And always we see people who, like, they eat with chopsticks that have not been brought up eating with chopsticks. See, like, your mate Dean, who you went to like fucking school with, you go out to a restaurant and they're like, yeah, I'll eat with chopsticks, and they just sit doing this with the chopsticks. It's like two knitting needles that don't, just go, can I have a fork? A fork is easier designed for people like us. I don't even use a fork. I use a spoon. I use a dessert spoon because it's a mini shovel. It's effectively a spade that I can hoof food into my fat mush quicker. Whereas it's fair play. Like, Asians using chopsticks, that's their culture. That's all they've learned. They're masters of it. Me trying to do it's just me going like this. Fuck's sake. Fuck. And you finally get a wee piece of rice on it. You're like, fucking you, and it falls off, and you just want to fucking take it and go, oh, into your eye. That's probably a really bad sound there, Ben. Sorry for screaming into the mic. But Lewis, you've got me there. You have got me there. Speaking of interesting weird food, new Instagram account that I've just obsessed with at the minute. It's a guy called Liver King, who's just this guy, it's absolutely jacked, who says he lives his life by the 7 tenets of the great ancestors. So like every day he just gets up, walks out into a field, gets at one with the earth, just walks in the field, gets some sun on his skin, then just eats an entire animal. Like, uses all their body parts, eats the liver, and that's what gets him so big and jacked. And he just works out, and he's the Liver King. Check him out, he's a great guy. And Leah said, when children play loudly right outside your house when you've got a baby sleeping, yeah, that's pretty irritating. But the onus is on you, Lee, because what you can do is you need to take responsibility for your own baby, and you need to go out on the street, probably pick, I don't know what sort of weapons you have in the house. I'd say a good thing's a frying pan, and just start laying out kids in the street. Be quiet, you little fuck. Like, once again, the Hannibal Lecter, the Hannibal swipe. Take out all these kids with the Hannibal swipe. Why is that not being a dance? Why are people not on dance floors? I would kick off. But yeah, nothing's worse. Like, I remember in my old house, there was these kids who lived next door to me, and they had a trampoline. They just bounced all day and screamed all day, and their parents didn't give a fuck. I think their parents, and I don't want to speak out of turn in case these guys listen to the podcast, because they said they did before, but their parents just lie around, drink, and take heroin all day. So the kids are probably just out by themselves. I did go out one day. Now, what I did was I went out, and there was a high fence, so I went under the fence, and I just picked up, like Pennywise in it, and just went this to the kids. I went, "Shut the fuck up, or I'll murder you." And then quietly went underneath into the house. And believe it or not, the kids haven't been seen since. So the moral of the story is take ownership, my friends. Take ownership of your problems and all will be well. Or ask Davey on the sly dig and I'll give you some advice. But that was fun this week. What do we else do? Ulster Hall. Genuinely, I'm very excited about Ulster Hall. I always have been, but I'm really excited now because tickets are shifting. You can see there, Ben will put them up here. There's not a lot left. We're nearly open in the balcony. So if you want to come, get yourself a wee ticket, get down with everybody in the ground floor. There's going to be some naked butlers there. They're going to be coming around. And I don't just mean Aaron Butler. I mean there'll be actual naked butlers there just giving you, grapes and buckfast. It'll be a good time. So the comedy's there. My show's called Pillowtalk. It's a lot of fun stuff. It's covering all the topics that people care about, like tax inflation, meritocracy, other key things such as the economy. Just a lot of fun things in the show. But we'll make light of a lot of things. We'll have fun. We will enjoy it, and it's on the 17th of December. And yeah, I'm feeling good. Get your tickets, follow my bio, whatever. Buy a ticket now, cause see if we sell this out. Ben's going to take us up his ass as my opening act, and I'm sure he's very excited about it.
So you're gonna suck your own dick and I'll do that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and what we'll do, we'll get somebody to play. I'll get someone to play a didgeridoo and someone to play a boran at the same time, and we'll just make some sort of really unique performance art piece that people can enjoy. Let me see. Ben actually just said to me there to look at the comments, one of the comments on last week's podcast. A lot of comments, which is nice. Probably because I didn't put the audio version up, so everyone was just watching it over on YouTube, but I appreciate that. A lot of people, for whatever reason, thought I had died. Which, I mean, I don't know whether that's a compliment or an insult, but whenever I missed the podcast for a week, they're like, I thought something had happened, he's dead. Like, well, I don't know what that says about my health, but I appreciate the concern. I just want to say, Laura has said the Hulk was called Bruce Banner, not David Banner. Yeah, the modern day Marvel Hulk, you fucking nerd. But go back to the Incredible Hulk from the 1980s. That guy was called David. He fucked it up. David Bruce was his full name. David Bruce Banner. But he went by David, and then he got all angry and turned into Lou Ferrigno. Oh. But listen, I appreciate you trying to correct me and mug me off there. But listen, there's only one Mrs. Doyle, and it's not my week, it's me. Have a mug. Yes, and also if you haven't already, please rate and review the podcast. That was the perfect segue. Ashley reviewed my podcast. I don't know if I read it out last week. I might have done, I might not have done, but I love it, so I'll read it again. She has said this is the most underrated podcast about. True. Dave gives an honest review of the ups and downs of every day. Like, I'm just a working class, honest man. I'm just a man of the people. I am the people pleaser. I'm the pleaser of men. And I'm the pleaser of women. And I'm here for your entertainment. That's not what Ashley's written, but that's what I am saying. And like Ashley enjoys a good rant. Now, Ashley, I would take that part. I don't think I rant. I think people think that. They misconstrue what this is. This is just an open forum of discussion between me and nobody. And I appreciate it. Look forward to every week and hope to see big things happening for Dave in the future. Ashley, I love you. Thank you. The podcast is brought to you in association with Modest Beer. Modest Beer are a company who make craft beers and have been meant to send me new tins for about the last 7 weeks. So if you want to know more about them and all these other new tins they have instead of these ones, you better not tell me Crystal Palace have scored. Have they? 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Fucking fuck off, Modest Beer. Follow them on the website or some shit. You serious? What time is it now?
7:82. Arsenal are all over.
Modest beer. At modest beer. Fucking. How long have we been talking for?
35 minutes.
I suppose I'm gonna have to fucking draw out these questions then, aren't I? I need another break. Stop supporting fucking Arsenal. Sack. Ban. Kill myself. In with the good, out with the bad. Helen said, I hope I'm not too late now. Are you shitting it about the Ulster Hall yet? We're looking forward to it. Helen, I'm not shitting it just yet. I'm sure I will be in due course, but don't care anymore. Don't give a fuck about anything. I hate football and it makes me sad, and I hate Arsenal. There we go. Let me just delete this post. I don't want to answer any more fucking questions. No. Hold on, there's more to life than football. There's more to life than football. No, I'm not shitting it. I'm excited. I'm buzzing about it. People are getting tickets now. We know what's happening. We're feeling good. Close your laptop. Close your fucking laptop, please. Naomi has said, if you were in a Freaky Friday situation, what's the first thing you would do as the other person? Kill myself. John said, October 2022, where and what would you like to be working on? In Roselawn, dead, under a tree. Sharon, you're out for dinner. What are you ordering for dessert? Nothing, because I'm dead. So those people probably just be eating their dinner, being sad, be like, oh, I wish Dave was here. And why is there so many... Hannah said, why is there so many creepy men at the pool? I just want to swim in peace, not to see. Because those creepy men should kill themselves. Right, no. Sorry, I'll go back. If it was a Freaky Friday situation, what was the first thing I would do as the other person? Probably raid their bank account and send it to my wife. But then, whatever that is, just post it to her. She'd be grateful when I switched back. Then kill myself. John said, October 2022, where and what? I'd be outside the Emirates protesting about how fucking shit Arsenal are. But other than that, I would like to, you know what? I would just like to be working regularly on what I want to do. I would like to have a thriving Patreon. I would like to have maybe another couple of podcasts you and me could work on that would just be popular and regular, and not the Champions League of Weird, which takes you 42 days to make and just depresses us all. Sharon said, if you're out for dinner, what would be my favourite dessert, if it's there, I can't say no, is banoffee. I don't know, like, I know that's a lot of people going, what? Like, people just hate bananas these days, and people hate pineapple and pizzas. Like, it's like a new phenomenon. People, have you noticed that? People going, oh, pineapple and pizzas. Hawaiian pizzas? Get culture, okay? This fucker's Hawaiian. He's, I am Hawaiian. Aloha. I like fucking pineapple on my pizza. It sounds Welsh again. But yeah, banoffee. I also like sticky toffee pudding. I like a cheesecake. I like ice cream. I like a pavlova as well. You know, there's not a lot of desserts I don't like, and I like, what are those wee stinking things that just look like they taste like what I would imagine frozen sperm to taste like. Panna cotta, is that a thing? It's nice too. And Hannah said, why is there so many creepy men at the pool? My question to you is this, Hannah: what pool do you go to? Because that could be a problem. We don't want to say that every single... I'm sure there are creeps at every single swimming pool, to be fair. Normally, I would find the older the man, the creepier they look, because normally they wear more creepy attire, like Speedos, and like would be looking like, you know, a perv. But what you should do, you should call them on it. This is what I recommend you do. You just get out of the water like a wee sea lion, and then go, and say it in this voice, because it'll really freak them out. Go, what the fuck you staring at, mate? And then they'll go, oh, sorry, you're a fucking pervert, mate. And then just get back under the water again, and they'll be so startled by this weird little voice that they'll not be able to be creeps anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I hang about a sauna with a lot of guys that aren't creeps, and just a couple of guys. It's not 3-1, is it?
No, it's just
I don't know why. You can understand why people become like accidental murderers. Because I was about to fuck this at you. I see if they'd have fucking scored again. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. What I want you to do, Hannah, I want you to get into my DMs and just tell me the name of where you swim, because if it's in Lisburn, that's why. But what you should do is you should go to spas, high-end spas and health centres, less of creeps there. And whenever they are there, you can go to a lifeguard and you can say like they're a creep, and the lifeguard will take them out the back and shoot them and feed them to the truffle pigs. Feed the perverts to the truffle pigs. And you know what? I have had enough of this podcast before I even started, and I've definitely had enough now. Ben, well, how long have I been talking this shit for?
40 minutes.
40 minutes. That's all you're getting this week, guys. If you want more, get on to Patreon. There's a new stand-up set up there from the Wall Garden Banger for the Rider Slice. You can get that and enjoy it. There's always a bonus podcast. There's more dog walks with Davey. When my dog just ran off today, I let him off the lead at 6 a.m. and he ran away. And you'll get to enjoy that in the next week or so. So guys, take care, look after yourselves, stop supporting Arsenal, and I'm away home. Peace.
I'm the sly guy.